In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, Vietnam and China bolster legislative cooperation. Efforts to be made to enhance values and quality of dragon fruit. In our world news, Japan-US seeks to bolster cooperation.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi and you're watching VTV News. During his official visit to China, National Assembly Chairman DRAGONFRUIT toured Shanghai and met with Wang Dongming, Vice Chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of China. The Vietnamese top legislator expressed his delight at visiting Shanghai, a city that, despite accounting for less than 0.1% of China's area, is the most populous and contributes significantly to the GDP. Furthermore, Shanghai is a hub of innovations, implementing unique models in lawmaking, such as the Hong Kong Legislative Center. This center is a conduit for conveying the views of grassroots citizens directly to the People's Republic of China, and is where General Secretary and President Xi Jinping presented his thoughts on people's democracy. To realize this perspective, these centers prioritize collecting the opinions of diverse populations during the lawmaking process. According to the State Bank of Vietnam, the current loan interest rate is about 6.4% per year, down 0.7% compared to the end of 2023. Since the beginning of this year, numerous banks have launched credit packages with low interest rates, easing the financial burden for Vietnamese businesses.
To optimize production lines through automation, this company is about to upgrade manufacturing equipment, with an estimated total cost of more than $2 million. As interest rates on loans to enterprises decline, the company is able to take out new loans at a lower rate to grow its business.
Commercial banks offer preferential rates starting from 4.1% per annum for loans with maturity under 6 months, and 5% for loans from 6 to 12 months. Loans with preferential rates will help businesses change their performance models and optimize operation costs.
The State Bank of Vietnam has forecast that credit growth in Vietnam will increase from 0.26% in the first quarter of 2024 to 3.8% in the second quarter. Since the beginning of this year, numerous banks have launched preferential loan packages with low interest rates to support domestic businesses.
Since April 1st, we have lowered lending interest rates by 0.5% for 3-month loans, with total interest rate reductions of up to $11 billion. In addition, we have launched new loans with an interest rate that is 1.5% lower than the average interest rate for loans in March.
Working capital is often referred to as the lifeblood of a company. The government's easing of monetary policy is expected to allow Vietnam businesses to obtain the capital necessary for their operations.
Vietnam's economy is projected to grow by 6% in 2024. The launch of preferential interest rate packages is expected to help domestic enterprises to recover and thrive in the future.
The tax agency's managed total state budget revenue in the first quarter is estimated to reach over $19.6 billion, equating to 1/3 of the year's estimate and up nearly 11% over the same period last year. Tax revenue reached over 30% of the estimate in 10 out of 20 revenue items. In addition to collection tasks, the tax industry also implements tax policies to support people and businesses in the recovery and development of productions and business, of which the total amount of tax and land rent exempted and reduced in the first quarter reached more than $721 million, and value-added tax decreased by about $328 million. The construction sector achieved a growth rate of 6.83% in the first quarter of this year, nearly 4 times higher than that of the same period last year, contributing 0.4 percentage points to overall economic growth. This demonstrates the clearest signals of the recovery for one of the important industries that affect many aspects of the national economy.
This business runs 4 factories, producing over 60,000 tons of steel structures and 2 million square meters of roof and wall panels each year. Due to increased construction demand driven by foreign direct investment in Vietnam, the company's sales have grown by 6.5%.
The company will further invest in infrastructure, machinery, equipment, and human resources to promote the business plan for 2024. Along with domestic businesses, we are striving to bolster inner strength and self-reliance to meet the demands of our customers.
The industrial and construction sector has rebounded since the end of 2023. According to a survey by the real estate services firm CBRE, most investors in Vietnam prioritize industrial and office real estate. Furthermore, the government's active engagement in promoting significant public investment in infrastructure construction serves as a driving force for the construction industry.
If we increase investment in infrastructure by 1%, it will stimulate GDP growth by 0.3%. However, for developing countries like Vietnam, this number can be as high as 0.5%.
The sector that has garnered the greatest interest from corporate investors this year is the industrial and logistics sector. And the more fragmented and disrupted the international supply chain becomes, the more critical it is for securing alternative sites for risk.
According to a report by Myri Asset Vietnam Securities Company, in the past 10 years, the development of the construction industry has aligned with economic growth, showing its close correlation with the economy. Therefore, positive indicators of the construction industry also signal economic recovery.
Dragon fruit growers have witnessed a promising start of this year as the export turnover has shown a year-on-year increase. To prevent oversupply, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development suggests focusing on production in key ecological zones, including Binh Thuận, Long An, and Tiền Giang provinces. These areas are also urged to strengthen their linkage chains and improve fruit quality. Our next story was recorded in Binh Thuận, the nation's primary dragon fruit production hub.
Since joining the VCCU Binh Thuận Agricultural Cooperative, Vũ has switched to growing VTVgo dragon fruit. Supported by 50% funding for developing green production methods, farmers like Vũ can save significant input costs.
Thanks to this method, fruits grow stronger and are less susceptible to pathogens. As a result, productivity increases by 10%.
The production of dragon fruit in recent years has remained stable, yielding 40 to 60 tons per hectare. After accounting for expenses, Vũ profited approximately $6,000 from a 2-hectare plantation. The cooperative is establishing links from production to consumption with 47 dragon fruit farming households across a 130-hectare area. Presently, this cooperative is developing export growing area codes, creating new opportunities for its members.
When enhancing supply chains and production linkages in fruit growth, product values can increase by 30% compared to before.
When joining a cooperative, farmers must comply with the strict standards required by businesses. As such, they can produce higher quality fruits and enjoy higher prices, thereby earning a higher profit.
On average, Binh Thuận produces over 570,000 tons of dragon fruit per year. Of this, 15% is consumed domestically, while 80% is exported. The province has established 12 dragon fruit supply chains that link production and consumption, yielding an annual output of over 90,000 tons.
Vietnam leads Asia-Pacific in workplace satisfaction, according to a report by Intellect, Asia's largest mental health care company. Workplace satisfaction is rising across the region. Vietnam, Thailand, and the Philippines hold the top 3 positions, respectively. Factors assessed for workplace satisfaction include the ability to foster a relationship in the workplace and promote workforce participation. Other considerations include stress management support, emotional regulation, mental health, and employee benefits programs. And before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at foreign exchange rate for today, April 10th. Coming up next on VTV News, climate resilient water storage ponds boost farming security in Ninh Thuận province. And youth brings vitality to create music city of Đà Lạt. This year, hospitals are tasked with researching and proposing solutions for the application of artificial intelligence in medical examination and treatment. This directive comes from the Ministry of Health at the National Online Conference, where digital transformation activities are summarized and evaluated. To date, 100 million Vietnamese citizens have benefited from the health sector digital transformation. All medical facilities have implemented electronic medical records and cashless payments. Most hospitals have interconnected test results for patient convenience during referrals. Last year, with support from the Ministry of Public Security, the Ministry of Health established over 8.1 million synchronized electronic health records and 9.1 million records on the social insurance VNID system. However, due to a lack of system synchronizations, network congestion proceeds, causing difficulties for users. As such, the Ministry of Health mandates that medical facilities advancing in digital transformations must aim to create a more user-friendly environment for healthcare services. A cash relief package for people affected by drought and saltwater intrusion in Cà Mau province had just been launched by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in coordination with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in Vietnam. More than 1,000 households in U Minh, Trần Văn Thời, and Thới Bình district will receive cash support in 2 installments. The first installment will be in April and the second in May, with a total amount of over $216,000. For households with 3 or more people, the support is $240. The program focuses on cash distribution activities and raising community awareness about the economical use of water in daily life and production. Vietnam is in need of projects to mitigate the severe impact of drought due to intense climate change in various regions. In Ninh Thuận province, the SACCR project has strengthened the resilience of smallholder agriculture to climate change-induced water insecurity. The project has supported the digging of water storage ponds for local households for the 2021-2026 period. Since October of last year, these climate-resilient ponds have been handed over and have proven their effectiveness in providing water to the locals during this year's dry season.
Bắc Ái, a mountainous district, is the drought hotspot in Ninh Thuận province. Last year during the dry season, this hill was barren due to a water shortage. However, this year, Camellia Thị Quế has planted over 20 coconut trees at the storage pond provided her with water accumulated from the previous rainy season. She also purchased a pump to assist with irrigation.
Rain helped plant corn and sorghum to feed cows 2 years ago. When the rain didn't come, we stopped growing them. But we have water now, so we pump water to plant these coconut trees.
Like Quế, Camellia Thị Quế also had a water storage pond. However, she can't afford a pump, forcing her to leave her land fallow this dry season. Despite this, the pond stimulates her family in raising livestock.
Back then, there was no water here, so I had to chase cows to the other side of the hill and take turns letting them drink water. Now, I don't have to worry about water anymore. The pond is a great help.
Local residents are very happy to have storage ponds dug. Some households can afford to buy pumps, while some better-off families are looking to provide support. We are contacting relevant units to provide support to households in need of pumps soon.
The SACRR Ninh Thuận project has so far established 152 water storage ponds, benefiting over 7,000 households. This pond initially resolved the water shortage issue during the dry season. The project plans to extend its benefits to ethnic women in the future. It is estimated that an additional 91 water storage ponds will be implemented in 2024.
Encouraging outstanding individuals, young intellectuals, and laborers from ethnic groups to return to their local communities has helped many hardship areas in the Central Highlands overcome poverty and prosper. Along with that, the living standards of locals have also improved. Our story in the Central Highland province of Đắk Lắk.
After graduating from university, Đặng Dậu Thanh decided to return to his home village in a Cư Xuê commune to establish his agricultural cooperative. Over the past 3 years, he and 150 other Dao ethnic households have joined forces to develop a sustainable coffee production for export, with a raw material area covering 210 hectares.
The joint efforts of cooperative members encourage us to commit to producing high-quality coffee.
In the past, coffee plantations yielded only 1.5 to 2 tons per hectare. However, productivity has now increased to 3 to 3.5 tons per hectare. The cooperative buys each kilogram of fresh coffee at a rate of 4,000 to 5,000 Vietnam Dong higher than the market rate. Thanks to that, Dao ethnic households now earn a stable annual income, ranging from 4,000 to 12,000 US dollars.
When the ripening rate of coffee branches increases, the quality of raw coffee also improves.
Cooperatives provide farmers with scientific and technological advances that are beneficial to the production process. For farmers who are not familiar with these cutting-edge production techniques, they can still enjoy economic efficiency when participating in these collective economic models.
The Cư Xuê Sustainable Agricultural Cooperative, led by young Dao intellectuals, has been progressively transforming traditional farming methods, thereby improving the farmers' living standards. These Dao youths also inspire the locals to overcome poverty sustainably.
Đà Lạt, a city in southern Vietnam, Lâm Đồng province, is recognized by UNESCO as a creative city of music. And to promote its national musical heritage, various music events are organized in the city. Additionally, local youth have initiated projects to rejuvenate Đà Lạt culture, further enhancing the city appeal to music enthusiasts.
This is Hillside Street in Đà Lạt City, a creative cultural space that organizes various events associated with the community. The performers are children and young people from Ho Chi Minh City.
To attract a young audience, the artists and organizers should also be of a young age. These enthusiastic young people will serve as a bridge to organize the event.
I came here by chance. This new wave of young people brings vitality to the concert.
Joining the UNESCO Creative Cities Network, Đà Lạt must carry out many programs in accordance with its commitment. As such, the city must take the initiative to promote the values of its musical heritage. These events are expected to instill more confidence in young individuals pursuing classical music.
These young friends play very well. I hope that their love of music can inspire many others to love music.
Young individuals are expected to create a new dimension in this music city with their creative approaches and initiatives.
Coming up next in our World News, Japan and the United States seek to bolster cooperation. And and IAEA board to hold meetings over nuclear power plant attack. Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Fumio arrived in Washington on Tuesday, marking the start of his week-long official visit to the United States. The purpose of the visit is to significantly enhance the alliance between the two countries. The visit is expected to boost economic cooperation, covering areas such as artificial intelligence, advanced technology, chip supply chains, and space projects. Furthermore, both countries emphasize their leaders' commitment to security cooperation, with the United States affirming its support to strengthen Japan's defense and deterrent capabilities. They also acknowledged shared strategic challenges and initiated a program to enhance cooperation with suitable partners in response to these challenges. Earlier, the Japanese Prime Minister stated that Japan and the United States play a leading role in many international issues and emphasized the need to strengthen bilateral relations. The International Atomic Energy Agency's IAEA announced on Tuesday that it will hold an emergency meeting of its 35-nation Board of Governors on Thursday. This meeting comes in response to recent attacks at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, ZNPP, in Ukraine. Both the Russian Federation and Ukraine requested this meeting. The IAEA was informed of one of the latest drone attacks on the ZNPP training center on Tuesday. Despite the attacks, there was no immediate threat to the plant's nuclear safety and security. Currently, all reactors at the plant are shut down. However, constant power is still needed to cool the fuel in the reactors and prevent a potential meltdown. The IAEA Director General described the attack as a serious development that poses significant risk to nuclear safety and security. He has repeatedly called for an end to these attacks. The ZNPP is the largest nuclear power plant in Europe with a total capacity of 6 gigawatts. In late February 2022, the facility came under Russian control. Global oil prices recorded a consecutive session decline on Tuesday as traders considered the potential for a ceasefire in Gaza and the associated risk to oil supplies in the Middle East. The price of U.S. light sweet oil for May 2024 delivery fell by 1.4%, closing at $85.23 per barrel on the New York Mercantile Exchange. This was after a nearly 0.6% drop in the previous session. The Brent oil price for June delivery also fell by 1.1% to $89.42 per barrel. The optimism surrounding ceasefire negotiations in the Gaza Strip has been a factor in recent oil price drops. Moreover, the U.S. Energy Agency has predicted a slightly larger growth in the U.S. crude oil output for this year and the next. The volume of e-waste is increasing at a rate 5 times faster than documented e-waste recycling. Approximately 62 million tons of electronic waste were generated in 2022, yet only 22.3% of this waste was correctly collected and recycled. In March, a UN expert warned that the world is losing the battle against electronic waste. More to follow.
Electronic waste, also known as e-waste, consists of any discarded items containing a plug or a battery. It can contain toxic additives and hazardous substances such as mercury, representing an environmental and health hazard. According to a report from the United Nations, the world's annual output of e-waste stood at 62 million tons in 2022. This figure marked an 82% increase from 2010. The generation of e-waste is rising by 2.6 million tons annually, meaning that it could reach 82 million tons by 2030.
Sadly, to our surprise, the increases of the e-waste mountain are faster than the increases in the recycling efforts of this e-waste. So to date, only 22.3% of e-waste has been documented to be collected and recycled in a good way for the environment. So the vast majority of e-waste is not managed in a correct manner.
UN experts attribute this increase to factors such as higher consumption, limited repair options, shorter life cycles for electronics, and inadequate infrastructure to manage e-waste. Baldi noted that even items designed to reduce energy consumption, like photovoltaic panels, have contributed to e-waste.
The manufacturers have got responsibilities in terms of standardizing and making sure that they don't shortchange the consumer. So the product that they produce should not have a short life cycle, and that is important.
E-waste management costs the world an estimated $37 billion every year. This underlines the importance of increasing recycling rates globally.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.